So there I was, out of the army, no job, not long been married. I got a son on the way, and back in Civvy Street, and of course my dad was a bit upset again because I'd managed to screw my life up again. Now then, the next, it must have been about 8 years, was sort of a bit of a mishmash of a life, because I was still going from job to job. Still didn't know, didn't have any aim in life. I think that today when you look at some of the kids, that they seem directionless, don't they? And I think that's where I was. There was no real ambition. I didn't. All I wanted to make a few bob and provide the family. And we had, in the end, we had 3 sons, and we were living what I consider to be a normal kind of a life, because I was living the same kind of life that all my mates around me were living. And we were all just going down the pub a couple of times a week and home to the wife. You go to work, you come home, you have your dinner, all quite this and the other. But I was still taking drugs. And although it wasn't desperate stuff, I'd stopped LSD and I'd stopped any funny powder, smoking dope. But my life was totally aimless, and it got to the stage things. I can remember some really bad moments in my life. How low can you get? You've got to try and imagine. It's difficult to be able to sit there now and try and imagine how bad the life actually was without seeing the kind of thing yourself. And when I look back now over things that I do, I can see some really low points. We'd not long been out the army, and one of our friends who was from Loughborough, who was still in the army, he came back from a tour in Northern Ireland, and we went to meet him at the airport. There was just us, and on the air, and we were drinking quite a serious amount of thing, and then we had a bit of a barney between us, and the guy who was my best mate, Jim, and we ended up having a bit of a punch-up, and I actually, we were on the university campus in Loughborough, and on some field of some description, and I got him on the floor, and I got my hand round his throat, and I up a stone, rather a large, and I was smashing him in the face with it, and the old bill turned. And the first I knew of it, I'm looking at 2 pairs of black boots and dark trousers with no turtle, and oh my word, it's the old bill, and I'm sat there, my best mate, Jim, all over his face, and I'm standing there with a big stone. And the copper just said to me, can you sort it out between yourselves, Steve? I says, yeah, and he walked off. So, but the old Bill didn't want to get involved with that one. But anyway, how low could you get? Your best mate, and you're there punching him in the face with a dirty great stone in your hand, and at the time you don't think about it, but later in life you realise what it you were. Anyway, I at the time, going along in the 8 years, I got a job as a nightclub bouncer in Loughborough, and I thought at the time that it was a terrific job, because I was